Hello everyone, welcome to your English class. Dear students, today we will do the explanation of Unit 8, The Wolves of Cernogratz, Part 1, written by Saki. Are there any old legends attached to the castle? Asked Conrad of his sister. Conrad was a prosperous merchant, but he was the one poetically dispositioned member of a highly practical family. Here it's being said in para 1 that Conrad's sister asked him about the castle. She asked him if there was any old legend attached to the castle. Conrad was a prosperous merchant, means Conrad was a wealthy businessman of his time, and he was poetically dispositioned. This means that he had a sensitive nature of a poet. The Baroness Grubel shrugged her shoulder. Now here it's being said that Baroness, what is the meaning of Baroness? The wife of a baron, or a woman holding the title of a baron, a title given to a certain rank of noble men. Baron means wife of a baron or a woman who is holding the title of a baron. Baron Grubel shrugged her shoulder, it's being said here. There are always legends hanging about these old places. In this case, there is a story that when anyone dies in the castle of all the dogs in the village and the wild beasts in the forest howl the night long. It would not be pleasant to listen to, would it? Now, here it's being said that one of them tells about the legends and that castle, that whenever someone dies in this castle, all the dogs of the village and the beast means wild animals of the jungle, howl all the night long, and it won't be pleasant enough to hear it. And she asked a question in return also, that would it be pleasant to hear it. Now let's move on to para number 4. It would be weird and romantic, said the merchant. Anyhow, it isn't true, said the Baroness. Since we've bought the place, we have had proof that nothing of the sort happens. When the old mother-in-law died last springtime, we all listened, but there was no howling. It is just a story that lends dignity to the place without costing anything. Here it's being said in para number 4 and para number 5 that the merchant says that if we would hear the howling sound of the beast and the dogs, it would be weird and romantic at the same time. But the Baroness says that there is nothing like that, since we have the proof, because last springtime when mother-in-law died, there was nothing like a howling sound we heard, but I think she says that it must be the story for the dignity of the legends of that time. The story is not as you have told it, said Emily, the grey old governess. Everyone turned and looked at her in astonishment. She was used to sitting silent and prim and faded in her place. What is the meaning of prim? Prim means very correct and proper in behavior, easily shocked by rudeness. It's being said here that Emily, the governess of the castle, suddenly spoke in between, and she was a old lady with grey hairs. She used to sit prim, means she used to sit still and in proper behavior in her own place, and she never used to speak. But at that moment she was speaking and she was telling them about the castle. Now let's read further. At table, never speaking unless someone spoke to her, and there were few who did. It's being said about the governess of the castle, Emily, that she never used to speak unless someone spoke to her um, before, and it was very rare that anybody talked to her. Today, however, she continued to talk rapidly and nervously, looking straight in front of her and seeming to address no one in particular. Now, it's being said here that that lady, Emily, was looking straight in one direction, and she was talking continuously and with a nervous look. And it's also being said here that she was talking and looking in one straight direction as if she is addressing someone. She was talking to someone particularly, but there was no one in front of her. It is not when anyone dies in the castle that the howling is heard. It was when one of the Cernogratz family died here that the wolves came from far and near and howled at the edge of the forest just before the death hour. And the dogs of the castle and the village and all the farms round would bay and howl in fear. What is the meaning of bay? Bay means make a long and deep cry. It's being said here that Emily started telling them that it is not when anybody from in the castle dies, it is specifically for the member of Cernogratz family. If anyone from the Cernogratz family used to die, the wolves from the forest used to come from far and near and howl at the edge of the forest just before the hour of that person's death. And all the dogs of the castle and the village and all over the farm used to um, gather and bay and howl in fear. Bay means cry and howl in fear. Now let's move on further. And anger at the wolf chorus. And as the soul of the dying one left its body, a tree would crash down in the park. But for a stranger dying here, of course, no wolf would howl and no tree would fall. Oh no. Emily also told that the dogs used to howl and cry in fear and anger at the chorus of the wolf. When the wolves used to howl at that time, those dogs used to cry and howl, and whenever the soul of the person who is dying used to leave the body, at that time a tree in the park used to crash. But if a stranger die here, she says that, but if a stranger dies here, no wolf would come and howl and no tree would fall. There was a note of defense, almost of contempt in her voice as she said the last words. The Baroness stared angrily at the old woman. Now, what is the meaning of defense and contempt? Defense means disobedience and challenge. Defiance, it's called defiance. Disobedience and challenge. Contempt means lack of respect, low opinion. When the governess interrupted in their conversation, the Baroness started feeling the lack of disobedience in the governess, and she thought that she is showing disrespect towards her. So, in her low voice, as she said the last words, it was known clearly. The Baroness stared angrily at the old woman. Now let's read further. You seem to know quite a lot about the von Cernogratz legends. Fraulein Schmidt, she said sharply, I did not know that family histories were among the subjects you are expert in. Now, here it's being said that um, you seem to know quite a lot about the von Cernogratz legends, Fraulein Schmidt, she said sharply. But it's also being said here that she did not know about the history of the family uh, for which they were expert in. The answer to her taunt was even more unexpected and astonishing. I am a von Cernogratz myself, said the old woman. That is why I know the family history. Now, here to the most surprising of to the most surprising part for Baroness, it's being told here that when she taunted the governess that she know very much about the Cernogratz Fraulein, and she knew the history. She did not knew the history of the family. When she taunted her, then at that moment, that old governess, told her that she knew so much about the family history because she was a Cernogratz herself. You are a von Cernogratz, came in an incredulous chorus. Incredulous means disbelieving. Fräulein. Here it's being said that when they came to know, when the Baroness and Conrad came to know about the old lady that she was a von Cernogratz herself, they asked her all together that if she was the von Cernogratz. Dear students, that's all for today. I hope you all have understood this story till now. We'll continue further in our next videos. Thank you and have a good day.